3-hour SmackDown hot takes. Let's go. We got Squared Circle Scholar. They need to skyrocket Trick to the moon. I don't want to have to wait 2 to 3 years for him to even touch gold. The crowd was so over for him. I'm not even going to say, I would love for him and Mello to have a feud, but I kind of want Trick to go, I don't even want him to touch the mid-card. I want him to just go right to that main event. Boy, howdy, last night he arrived and looked like a superstar on so many levels. Trick Williams, I honestly think he's what they wanted Jey Uso to be. I'm not hating. I'm not a Jey Uso hater. Go back on my channel. Plenty of times I praised Jey Uso and stood up for Jey Uso, but I'm not just gonna blindly not say Jey Uso doesn't have some problems that he's never been able to fully overcome. But Trick Williams, he has the whoop that trick like Jey Uso has the yeet, right? Like, people are gonna whoop that trick no matter what. But the problem is Jey Uso gets gassed in the ring sometimes, or maybe his in-ring work is a little sloppy here and there. And Jey Uso and Triple H actually have said that in the past, that Jey Uso kind of rested on his laurels. So this is not just some internet nerd saying it, but actually the head of creative and the guy himself has said it. But Trick Williams, like, I mean, maybe he's not putting on banger after banger like a Ilya Dragunov, but Trick Williams matches are pretty good nonetheless. But even more important for moi is that Trick Williams has character, confidence, and his presence on that microphone. I'm telling you, I very much got the Rock, early Rock vibes from Trick Williams last night. I'm not even joking. He gave me some Nation of Domination Rock vibes. You know, the guy who's giving out Rolexes to everybody except for Farouk, and he gives him a picture of himself. Man, that was my second favorite version ever of The Rock, the final boss being my favorite. And yeah, it was just so freaking good. Trick Williams looked and sounded like a superstar. I would love for him to feud with Carmelo Hayes because they do have history. But honestly, I don't want Trick even in the mid-card. I want him right in that main event scene because I would be 100 times more interested in watching Trick go on the microphone against Cody Rhodes than I would Sami Zayn. That doesn't interest me half as much as Trick against Cody Rhodes. Boy, Trick just, he arrived last night, and it was refreshing. It was refreshing to see that kind of personality. Like, he, like, for real, just outshined everyone last night, and that's just on the microphone. Strap the rocket ship to this dude and all the way to the moon. Heck, let's go to Mars even. Let's go to Mars with Trick Williams. All right, let's get some more hot takes. Keith Caldwell, we definitely disagree, but you are more than welcome to an opinion. Let's hear what Keith has to say. Please do not sign Trick Williams. He's lousy. He thinks they say whoop that trick to him, but they're talking to his opponents to whoop that trick. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Dang, he's lousy. He won't last. I don't know if I'm gonna watch SmackDown anymore. You got Rick Williams. You just downgraded. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Keith. I'm sorry you don't like Trick, but like, I love Trick Williams, so like, hopefully you don't stop this channel because I'm going to be putting the full support of my channel behind Trick, behind Oba, like a lot of this new talent. That said, I do welcome alternate opinions, so thank you for sharing. We got Alfonso Passion. Though it did drag a little, I didn't mind this SmackDown. He liked the call-ups and the returns. Pretty well show. Could be worse, but hope they use the last hour building up feuds. Okay, so I very much do not want 3 hours of a show, but I will say, yesterday's SmackDown was actually really, really good. I gave it a 7 out of 10. as a gut reaction, but now that I wake up in the morning, I would have gave it an 8. I probably should have gave last night's SmackDown an 8. There was a lot of returns, a lot of call-ups. It was actually a pretty decent show. I did yawn 9 times, but I did have a very stressful day and was tired at the end of the day. 3 hours is still long, but that said, if I could get what I got last night on a continuous basis, I would be okay with that. I honestly would. I just don't think they can keep up that momentum, but let's just focus on the positive. Last night, decent. Ron Talks Tabletop says, good SmackDown. That ambulance match was too long. This feud is too long, the feud itself, and they will do nothing with Damian Priest. Oh, Ron Talks Tabletop. I honestly, I kind of agree with everything you said. Good SmackDown. The ambulance match probably went 10 minutes too long. They had some really good high spots, some really good moments in that ambulance match. But they dragged it out just a little too long. If they had cut 10 minutes off and I don't know, gave 10 minutes to another promo or something, that would have been a really good match. As it stands, it was okay, but less is more sometimes when it comes to matches. Not when it comes to appearances or storylines, but matches, less can be more, especially on TV. I mean, you had a razor's edge into a window off the top of the ambulance. You had a fireball. I mean, the fireball came at the midpoint. Like how a fireball should pretty much 6 months ago, a fireball was putting Damian Priest in the hospital for 2 months, but now it's just the midpoint. So yeah, this match went too long, and the feud definitely went too long. 6 months. They had a 6-month feud, and this was their 4th match. That's insane. That's insane. But none of it was on PLE. And then the other thing you said was, are they going to do anything with Damian Priest? That's the key. That's the key. You can't just have a feud and then not do anything with both winner and loser. Feuds are supposed to build momentum. But my fear is they're just going to take Damian Priest off TV until the Rumble, or the Rumble is his next story arc. The Rumble is not really a story arc unless it's someone like Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn can use the Royal Rumble as a story arc because his kid was like, "Hey, you ever gonna be world champion?" And then it's also in Saudi Arabia. But for Damian Priest, there's we all know that he's not winning, right? There's a hint of doubt whether or not Sami Zayn will win the Royal Rumble because of where it's at and the storyline they started last night. But with Damian Priest, we all know it's not going to happen. So Damian needs to have a feud immediately. He can't take next week off because that's what Triple H does. You win a title, you're off TV. You win a feud, you're off TV. Case in point, Randy Orton last night. Where's that dude been? Does anybody remember why Randy just left TV? Does anybody know why Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and AJ Lee just left TV after they won, after they were in War Games? What? So, please, don't just take Damian Priest off TV until Royal Rumble. Have something for him to do. Or don't let him win the feud. Then we got Tiz Mickey. I'm so happy to see Trick on the main roster. Me too. But I couldn't help but laugh because neither him or Sammy are beating Cody for that title. Yeah, no. But I would love if Trick Williams could get a match at Royal Rumble for that title. Even if he's going to lose. I would love for Trick Williams to be in the conversation of the world title. I believe Trick Williams can lose his first world title feud, but now Obafemi, on the other hand, Obafemi needs to win his first world title feud and then go on to never lose. I want Obafemi, the moment he wins his world title, I want him main eventing WrestleMania 79, still champion. And you're saying to yourself, what about Drew? Guys, gals, I wish Drew McIntyre was winning. Drew McIntyre was my 3rd favorite wrestler of 2024 and consistently my number 1 favorite wrestler of the last 5 years. Unfortunately, he's not winning. I wish. Then we have Ryan Brandt. Brant. I guess Ms. KO is a Ms. K no. See what you did there. Like it. Love it. Very good start for SmackDown with new faces to take off in 2026. That's from Main Event Fro. Yeah, you know what? SmackDown went from they got nobody to holy crap, they're bursting at the seams. Like, what did we have yesterday? We had returning Sami Zayn, Randy Orton. Then we had Trick. We got Lash. We getting Jordan Grace. It looks like Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. I'm just gonna throw them in that next generation, even though they've been on the roster for a minute. Like, it was looking good. Plus, Oba Femi on the horizon. I hope Oba goes to Raw, though, because I want Trick and Oba. I would love, because, man, how cool would it be? Trick, your champion on SmackDown. Oba, your champion on Raw. Bringing Matt Cardona back. I bet some people are like, why are we bringing that guy back, Matt Cardona? Like, why not? Matt Cardona is a really good example of a mid-card wrestler. Someone who can win a U.S. championship, and you're like, yeah, I believe that. Or someone who can get jobbed out to someone like an Oba Femi in 2 minutes and really put Oba over. Plus, I love that Matt Cardona, when he got fired 5 years ago, he didn't roll up in a ball and die. He just, like, he put in the work. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna get back to WWE. I never thought in a million years this guy was gonna get back to WWE, and he did. He's an inspiration. Quite honestly, the guy's an inspiration if you really look at his story. Kid Wilkes says that picture Drew burned cost less than $1 at the pharmacy, and could be found anywhere online. How expensive was the frame to match Cody's crash out like that? That is funny. I don't think that it was the picture itself or the frame that really, like, we're supposed to believe that's what Cody was mad about. I think we were supposed to believe that it meant something to Cody. Now they could have added a little to it in saying that maybe this was the original picture and then, forged Dusty's signature, I love you, my son, or something like that on the back. So then you couldn't, like, say, oh, he could just easily replace that. Because as it stands last night, it was more about the fact that he was disrespecting his dad, not like I could just replace the picture. But if they had it made it seem like Cody had, like, or that Dusty himself had written a note on the back of that photo, then it would have meant something, and that would have been irreplaceable. So if they would have just went, not even the extra mile, but just an extra couple feet on this angle last night, it could have been even more personal. So they should have had Dusty sign it. Kev, WWE 1, great episode of SmackDown, loved every bit of it. SmackDown could be show of the year. Well, technically it is show of the year right now, like right this second. But no, I like the Tracy Woods. I enjoyed the show. I hope they can continue to fill the 3 hours. I don't think they'll be able to. I bet after Rumble, if not in 3 weeks, we start to see the decline of SmackDown. But maybe I'm wrong. We have a hungry roster of NXT talents that have been in NXT too long. So maybe Triple H, Road Dogg, call me. I'll write for free. I will literally write for free if you want. And I won't be a yes man though. That's my one thing. I will literally write for free, but I will not be a yes man. Raphael at Air, Happy New Year, Chop. Happy New Year, Raphael. We got a 3-hour SmackDown has returned to restore balance in the world. I'm here for it. Raphael has always been a 3-hour guy. I haven't, but you know what? Last night, I was. And 2, Trick Williams in SmackDown was unexpected, but he is going to cook a fine dish, especially when he and Carmelo cross paths. So if you don't know, I'm not going to assume that everybody watches NXT. In NXT, they were good buddies, and they were aligned together, but eventually that would end. And but yeah, I can't wait. They did have a reunion. They had a reunion this year, actually, recently, one night thing where Carmelo went to NXT to help Trick Williams. So I'm like, I'm all for it. But like I can wait. I don't mind waiting. Let Trick get out of the Royal Rumble looking like a star, and let Carmelo build up his U.S. title resume, and then maybe we can get those guys together. That would be a good feud right there too. Oh, I want Trick to just go for the heavyweight title, but if we get a Trick Carmelo actual feud, that'll be the exception where I'm like, yeah, Trick can be U.S. champion. All right, what else? We got Mama There Go That Man. Mama There Go That Man says, I'm worried for Black. This was his first big feud since coming back to WWE, and he lost, but overall still a great episode of SmackDown. Yes, they did give him an out earlier in the episode. He was like, it's not about wins. He literally said, it's not about winning. But the problem is, he also said it's about changing Damian Priest. And I don't think Damian Priest felt changed at all. So I agree. You can have a character who can eat a loss and be okay. But like fundamentally, he did nothing. So I would be a little concerned too. Fingers crossed, though, that he does survive this. TTJC says, I hope Zelina gets involved in Rhea's match on Monday. Unless Rhea's going to come to SmackDown, I don't see a reason for Zelina to try to keep poking the Mama Bear. However, I did hear that they might move Rhea to SmackDown. That wouldn't be a bad decision. I actually wouldn't mind doing that. But yeah, right now I don't see Zelina doing it, because honestly that would just continue this Black Damian feud. So like that needs to be done 4 months ago. Go for Launch says, whoop that Trick. And I say, whoop that Trick as well. Charles Yancey, Superstar Trick arriving and Priest ending his feud did it for me. All right, good. Yeah, Trick arriving did it for myself. I love that. Please, Alfonso Passion says, don't fumble Julia again. Actually let her shine and have a meaningful everything. I really wish that she wasn't U.S. champion. If Julia were to be like, Kiana James, no, I don't, like, we're not together anymore, turns babyface, her and Jay could fight for a good month or two. Yeah. I hope they have something with her, because last time they gave Julia the title, they had nothing with her until she lost it. Jimbo Slice says, Wyatt 6 versus MFTs should have concluded in a cinematic Wyatt compound match like the Wyatts did with the New Day. New Day Solo would be fantastic if given the space to act and show his personality. Honestly, you're right. You're absolutely right there. Why not do that? Why a cinematic match is when they film it. If you don't know what a cinematic match is, WrestleMania 36, it was The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a boneyard match. That is what a cinematic match is, made famous through the Broken Universe, Matt Hardy in TNA. Jimbo Slice, I agree. I don't think Triple H likes those. But I think it would be different, nice, and cool to do that. I think this would be the cinematic match would be a great way to end their feud that also has been going on for too long. Pervious Young says, what happened to the Street Profits? Eyeball emojis looking that way. Yeah, what happened to the Street Profits? I mean, come on. I get that Kit Wilson is like his partner has been injured, but like Kit Wilson gets a singles run before Montez Ford? That's a little crazy to me. Kawash, The Miz is so good, one promo can put him anywhere in the card, and that is special. I agree. The Miz is just one promo away from a main event feud. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't think this was his best promo, but like, seriously, if he came out next week and just like laid into Cody Rhodes and saying how he was sick of being treated the way he was, I could see Cody and Miz going at it. Like, I wouldn't mind just a real quick little program right there. Cody needs to be stripped of the title, says Eric. If you're saying kayfabe-wise, he didn't touch Drew McIntyre. If you're just saying because you don't like him, well, I mean, I do wish he would lose the title. I'll say that. We got Todd Parker. All the new faces feel like mid to upper carders, not potentially top guys or girls. Okay, so Todd Parker, I understand why you would say that, but like, I mean, Obafemi though, come on. Obafemi feels like a main eventer right off the bat. But here's the thing. here's the thing. Even if you don't like Trick Williams, Jordan Grace, and you're like, yeah, they just feel like mid-carders, that's fine. You know what? Once upon a time, when everybody jumped ship from WWE to WCW, and all that was left was Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rocky Maivia, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's easy to say that those guys feel like main eventers right now, but I really legit remember thinking, holy crap, WWE only has Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. I thought that was it for the entire company. It took a while. It took about another year or two to get those guys that I mentioned, Mankind, Mick Foley, up into that main event, feeling like main eventers. So even if you feel these guys and gals are just mid-card people, you do got to give them a minute, because I definitely felt that way back in 97, that WWE had no main eventers. I was like, you look at it and you're like, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the dude was in a pig pen match a year ago, and I'm supposed to believe he's like going to be a main eventer against someone like Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon, Hulk Hogan. So they'll get there. Obla Gobble says, apparently, according to BC Amplified, WWE had to give a crap load of tickets away for free as comp tickets because the arena was AEW empty. That's not a good thing for WWE or TKO. Maybe they should rethink the pricing and go back to Vince's style of pricing for family friendliness. I would love if they did that. I hope more people don't go to WWE. But Job, don't you love WWE? Yes, I love WWE. I love it so much. But I do think that they have some really bad policies that are both short-sighted and honestly just plain mean. I wish that they were more like family-friendly oriented with their pricing. I want to build the community of WWE and not just TKO's bank account. So I do hope more people don't. Now, if you're going to go, if you want to spend your hard-earned money, then that's on you. I'm not shaming you for going to see a WWE show. That said, if you tell me I'm not going to go to a WWE show, I will praise you. If that makes sense. I don't want people going when these prices are so high. But again, that's your money. You do you. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about having money. Don't feel bad about having money at all. Spend it how you want. I'm telling you how I feel, though, and I'm allowed to have an opinion also. Soul Collector says Zack Ryder equals garbage. Zack Ryder equals garbage. What about Matt Cardona? What does he equal? Or are you saying Zack Ryder Matt Cardona is garbage? I already explained earlier why Zack/Matt is a good addition to the roster. Not because he's like world championship material, but because he's a guy that can eat a loss, but also pin someone of worth. We got Dashing Negan. The women's stuff was bad, and the show was a bit boring. I don't think the women's stuff was that bad, to be honest with you. I think Lash should have got the pin, but I don't think it was horrible. So, I don't know. There's your opinion. We got Karen Etheridge. You know Karen Etheridge? I was calling you Karen the Ridge. I think it's because of my my dyslexia. I was reading Karen the Ridge. And the other day, I was like, wait a minute. Have I been calling that name wrong the whole time? So, Karen Etheridge. Julia better get a good push now that the belt is back on her. 100% agree. Having the belt is not enough. You have to have plans for the belt and the character after. And now that Meacham is hurt, who's going to wrestle Jade Cargill? B-Fab? They need to make the title interesting with her or let her drop it to Chelsea. Honestly, I agree with that. Just what I said. When Julia won the title, we need to have plans for her. We haven't had plans for Jade once she won the title. Come on. If the plan is Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, then that's not a plan. I don't care if Jade holds the title for 6 months when the 6 months is a lame 6 months. I want Jade to be wrestling top tier talent right this second. Have a storyline for her. She's a natural heel. We could do something with it, but we're just keeping her in the back week in, week out. It's gonna be a weak title reign, and people are gonna be like, see, she sucks, and it's no fault of her own because she's not getting anything to work with. Literally nothing to work with. B-Fab and Meacham, while I respect them as wrestlers, and hey, they could kick my butt any day of the week, but they've been presented a certain way. So it's no, give Jade someone good. Give Julia someone good now that they became your champions. RKO says, Priest and Black, while it wasn't boring, if you were expecting a legendary or show stealer, it was more like, okay, cool, now we can move on. This has been one of the weirdest feuds I've ever seen. Like, I'm not even joking. And not weird like the boogeyman with worms coming out of his mouth and going to eat a mole off of somebody weird. But weird in that it's 6 months. 6 months. We've had fireballs. We've had hospitalizations. We've had heel turn managers in this situation. And a ladder match with huge high spots. And it's still just kind of like, oh, okay, moving on. It's like, it's so weird that this thing lasted this long. 4 matches, none of it on PLE. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened here. Goat Buggy says, what the heck happened to Pretty Deadly? Because it's just Kit Wilson is not doing it for me because I know they never broke up. I think one of them is just injured. One of them is just injured, and instead of leaving both of them off TV, they had Kit Wilson come. I honestly thought Kit Wilson was really funny yesterday. His stupid, whatever that Titantron thing is, it's so obnoxiously lame and stupid that it becomes funny and cool to me. So I really like Kit Wilson and his toxic masculinity gimmick going on, because that's going to get a lot of hate. A lot of heat. People are going to hate this guy, and I love somebody who everybody hates, and they act almost oblivious or they lean into it more. He's going to be kind of like a modern day right to censor Stevie Richards if they play their cards right, and I really am all for that, because people had a visceral reaction to Kit last night, and I thought it was hilarious. Calvin Washington says Sammy needs to retire. It seems like WWE has nothing for him. I know, it's cool to hate Sami Zayn right now, but I would, retire? I don't think in retirement. I don't want him to ever win that world title, or if he does win the world title, I hope it's a month-long title reign, tops, but, retire? I still think he has a lot to offer. They just need to change his character, honestly. It's just how they write the dude. You flip him to Conspiracy Theory Sammy or Bloodline Sammy, then the dude is he's money. He's money. It's just how they write him right now. It's we haven't liked Underdog Sammy for about 8 years, so quit making him Underdog Sammy. Domina Doom says the current women's tag team champions are being booked like the weakest team in the division. I agree with you, and I hate that. Asuka, she lost? She lost before War Games. She lost a non-title match. The Kabuki Warriors lost a non-title match against Lash and Nia. Then last night, Kairi took the pin in a 4-on-4. Yeah, I hate when they make the champions look weak. And you might be like, well, that just means they're going to win. I don't need them to lose to win. I just need them to win. They're your champions. Give me a break. Teddy Boy Ward says, I thought I just went to the women's War Games match. Yeah, literally it was a rematch. Martin says, Trick with one promo showed me that he has so much more potential to be the face of WWE with almost anyone under the age of 35. Oh yeah, Trick definitely could do it. Trick could do it. I think Oba Femi is the one that a lot of people, Oba Femi and Braun Breaker are the two that everybody's already pegging to be the guys. But I think Trick Williams could sneak under the radar and be the face, become the face, kind of like John Cena. John Cena was not supposed to be the face of WWE. Maybe Trick Williams wasn't supposed to be the face, but I could see it happening. WTF Patch says, finally some storylines. WWE, please cook in 2026 and don't burn the dish. Yes, we need storylines. We need storylines. If you want great matches, go to AEW. I'm not even saying that as a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying that as a thing. I need storylines in my WWE. Fazarupu says, why can't Priest ever lose a feud? He's buried Gunther, Finn, Judgment Day, Drew, and now Aleister. The feud was over, but Priest won't screw off until he wins. That's actually kind of a good point. Drew McIntyre beats him at WrestleMania, and Priest is like, no, we're gonna keep doing this. I think Gunther did eventually kind of sort of win, but of all the people that Priest did bury, it was definitely Gunther and Judgment Day. I remember when he was going out and just doing 1v4 with Judgment Day. That's actually when I turned on Damian Priest. Goat Buggy says, I really wish that Booker T was on SmackDown just for Trick Williams' theme song. Yeah, me too. Me too. Wherever Booker T goes, Raw or SmackDown, then you got to put both Trick and Stephanie Fakir with Booker T. He added so much to their characters. I love Booker T. I will say this though. I think Booker T is a little more handcuffed when he is on SmackDown or Raw because they're the main shows. I've seen Booker T on SmackDown before, and I was like, this isn't the Booker T I know and love. I still enjoyed him, but like on NXT, I don't think Big Daddy TKO watches it so much. So Booker T has a lot more freedom to be himself, and that's why I think it's so he's so amazing. If you haven't seen Booker T singing the Joe Hendry song, look that up. So like. I would love for NXT Booker T to be on commentary for SmackDown. I just don't think we would get NXT Booker T. I think we'd get SmackDown Booker T. So I would still take it. But like Booker is so much better in NXT. But I do get what you're saying. Without Booker saying, yeah, or whatever he does for Stephanie Fakir, it's not the same. Booker T adds so much. And you boys, you girls, you add so much to my life as well. So, see ya, bye.